Whatever kind of night you're having, start it off right with Drizzly, the go-to app for drink delivery. Whether you're mixing up a bullet bourbon old-fashioned for a cozy night in, or Kettle One Bloody Mary bar for a birthday brunch, you can get the perfect beer, wine, and spirits for any occasion delivered with Drizzly. So,
what's it gonna be?
Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com to choose your drinks today. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations.
Do I really gotta be the asshole that says we got in this thing and went back in time?
It must be some kind of hot tub time machine.
On this episode of The Commercial Break.
Even though my skin was dying, I saved it. I was hoping I would wake up and be able to crawl on walls, but
shoot spider webs out of your wrists.
That did not happen either. So
darn.
What are you gonna do?
I'm glad you're
I thought we were
okay.
gonna actually be able to take a break from this fucking podcast. But no excuses. One day, I hear music coming from the beach, but I cannot pinpoint where. All of a sudden, a man with a saxophone is playing with a crazy white man, dancing his legs below the guitar. It is a Dave Matthews. I am traveling through time with the Dave Matthews Band.
In 2028, the world you know will disappear. You might ask me how I know that. And how
I have been smoking a lot of weed in Denver with Krissy only.
The next episode of The Commercial Break starts now.
Oh, yeah, cats and kittens, gloves and mittens. Welcome back to The Commercial Break. I am Brian Green. This is my dear friend and co-host, Kristen Joy Holy. Best to you, Krissy.
And best to you, Brian.
And best to you out there in the podcast universe. How the hell are you? Thanks for joining us on yet another episode of this, The Commercial Break. It's not for everyone, but fact, news, or fiction is guaranteed in 15 seconds or less, so you got that going for you. Go to the tcbpodcast.com website to collect your earnings. The craziest thing was, not but 2 weeks ago, we were talking about the gift that keeps on giving being the spider webs around my house.
Yes,
and the
I remember
spiders must have been listening because I got they got their revenge on me.
Oh, what did they do?
Well, I mean, you know this because a week ago, we're in here recording and we're 30 minutes into an episode and I'm staring at my leg. It's itching so bad. It's
that's
hurting.
right.
It's itching. And I'm staring at my leg and I'm realizing that I have a black spot on top of a bug bite, and I just wrap up the recording real quick. I'm like, I guess that's all we can do for today. I'm like,
yeah, and you were like, I've got to go to the hospital.
And I'm like, I got to go to the hospital.
I was like, what? What just happened?
Well, I had this. I got this bite. It was itching in the morning in the shower, and then throughout the evening. It's like a day before we were recording. Through the evening, I didn't really notice it. But then when I got in the nighttime shower, because I take 2 showers, one where I wash my legs and one where I don't, and which caused quite a stir out there in our podcast audience. So when I get in the shower for the second shower of the day, it is really itching. It's on fire.
Yeesh.
I can't stop itching it.
Oh no!
And so then I put some cortisone cream on it. I realize that now it's raised and it's red and it's hard and it's probably the size of a
Dime.
quarter. Yeah, a quarter.
Yeah.
Actually, it's getting bigger. And I'm like, wow, that's really weird. I wonder what I got bit by. It's not mosquito season around here, so it must have been. I got a pool, and I'm out in the pool deck. There's all kind of creepy, fucking crawly things back there.
Yes,
that I hate.
there are.
Every time I go into that pool shed, I bang on the wall before I walk in. I'm like, boom, boom.
Right.
Please leave.
Right.
Please don't come.
A little agreement with the bugs in there.
Mainly the snakes is what I'm worried about. I'm like, if you guys could leave, I'll enter, and then I'll be. You can go back to doing whatever.
You can go back in.
Just don't bother me. Don't sneak up on me. So no shit, I'm sitting here while we're recording, and I see that the bug bite is not only raised red, painful, and itchy, but there is a black spot on top of it.
I saw that, yeah.
Which is necrosis. It means your skin's dying, right?
Well.
And I was like...
that might be exaggerating a little bit.
Well, that's what it was.
It was?
Yeah, that's what it was. I ended up going to the emergency room.
Okay.
You left. You went out of town. You don't care about me. So you left.
I checked on you.
You left to go eat your gummy bears in Denver. You did. You checked on me. You were like, slabba-dabba-dee-ba-da. And I was like, okay. With some random meme. I was like, well, she's high.
Well, I was in Colorado.
Yeah, you sent me the funniest
When
text
in
message.
Colorado.
When in Colorado. Text in a why can't I say this
the
right?
opposite of eloquently.
Yeah.
Ineloquently.
illegible.
Oh, illegible. You're going for that. I was going for
Where
eloquent.
did my brain go? It was like, la, la, la. Illegible information. You were like, zaboo. And I was like, yeah, great. They just texted me like a Spider-Man. And I was like, what is going on there? So I end up going to the emergency room that night because I called the doctor. They called me back. They said, oh, yeah, you got to go. Like, you don't want that turning anything. So doctor walks in. First thing he says is, what's going on? And I said, a spider bite. And he goes, the spiders always get a bad rap. It's always a spider bite. You know, it's always a spider bite, but it's never, he goes, hardly ever a spider bite. Let's take a look, right?
Right.
He's like, it's probably a bee or something. You got something. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's a spider bite.
That's definitely, no, it looked like it when I was Googling.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you went to the hospital.
So he goes, yeah, this looks like probably of the recluse family, but I don't
brown
think.
recluse.
Yeah, he's like, I think it's a baby or it didn't get you because luckily it's not bad. Like I've seen worse. And he's like, but you got a little bit of necrosis on top of there. He's like, so let's go ahead and, dope you up with. Now listen to this, Chris. You don't feel bad already about, your argument with the spider in the middle of the night, like thinking about where it actually came from.
Right.
Could have came from the pool house.
Yeah.
Could have came from my bed.
Could have.
Could have been like when I was sleeping.
I hate
like
that thing because
creepiest.
when you get in bed too and you feel an itch,
You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you're like, and then I'm always like, then I'm like, oh, that's a crumb.
Yeah, it's a crumb. I shouldn't be eating in bed. I never eat in bed. It's my fucking children. God damn it. So I'm like, oh, really? And he's like, oh, yeah, this has got all the telltale signs. He's like, unless we caught it, we don't know. He's like, I'm just telling you, I have a lot of experience because in Georgia, we got a ton of these.
Yeah, they're
And he's
brown
like-
recluse.
He's like, but I've seen much worse. And he's like, after 24 hours, if it's not really, really bad, you're not in dangerous shape. But we do have to give you some medicines to take care of. We got to stave off any infection. And I was like, okay. So he gives me this cream. And he's like, yeah, this cream is called like Nefectin or something. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. Whatever the fuck that is. He's like, I'm also going to give you an oral medication that has a similar name because it's just the digestible version, right?
Yes.
So you're going to take one, you're going to put one on your leg. You're going to swallow the other one.
Double team it.
Yeah. And he's like, let me send it to the pharmacy. Sometimes they don't always have this stuff. And I'm like, why is that? And he's like, well, it's reserved for lepers.
Leprosy.
Leprosy. And I'm like, leprosy?
This is central control.
I was like, well, okay.
Yeah, whatever you think, Doc.
To the CVS, and the guy's like, wow, we don't give this shit out much.
He's staying like really far away from you.
He's got like one of those little grabbers.
The grabber.
With two masks on. It's like, would you mind coming through the drive-thru? Is that okay with you?
I'll just toss it to you.
I know. So so the spiders got their revenge.
They did.
I'm fine now. Everything's fine. It went away after a couple days. Yeah, and the little black spot never got bigger. So even though my skin was dying, I saved it. I was hoping I would wake up and like be able to like crawl on walls, but
shoot spider webs out of your wrist.
that did not happen either. So
Darn.
What are you gonna do?
I'm glad you're
I thought we were
okay.
going to actually be able to take a break from this fucking podcast. But no excuses. No excuses. I'm putting in whatever.
I'm dying of a spider bite. I can't record.
Yeah, okay, by the way, I had to move some meetings, and I'm like, I got bit by a spider. And people are like, yeah, great, dude. Is that the Irish spider you were bitten by?
Right.
So fucking stupid. That is the worst excuse to miss a meeting. I got bit by a spider.
It's the truth,
bite.
though.
Yeah, it's only the truth could sound that stupid.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like usually you make up something ambiguous and very broad so that they can't pin you
COVID's
down.
a big broad one now.
Yeah, okay, you can say COVID. I got COVID. I'll be out for 4 to 7 weeks. I'm reading about these people with the long COVID. And it's
it's a thing.
it's really crazy. I mean, when you have long COVID, apparently it's bad. Like you just lay around and you're
very fatigued.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's when you learn to crochet, like what you and I were talking about earlier in the car.
That's right.
The kids are starting to crochet.
Yeah, well, I was out for Parents Weekend in Colorado.
Yeah.
This weekend, and my stepdaughter, who is just lovely. She is one of my favorite people.
Lovely person.
So sweet and amazing at crochet.
She's
a college student
crochet
and loves
queen.
crocheting. She's got her own Instagram account. It's amazing. She's tried to teach me a couple of times, but
you don't have the hand-eye coordination for that. But this is not an unusual this is not like a one-off that your stepdaughter has crocheted, because this is a very popular thing to do now with the younger set.
It's amazing what she can make too. She makes dresses and shirts and bags.
Tell her to make us something.
I will.
Yeah.
And I did want to bring up something else as well, because we did see her cousin. Henry, who is a big, long time supporter of the commercial
what's up,
break.
Henry? Yeah, I do remember Henry.
What's up, Henry?
Yeah.
And he said if we ever need anybody, he's moving to New York.
Okay.
And he said if we ever need a guest correspondent, he would be happy.
Would he go into like some of these crazy conferences and stuff like that?
Yeah,
and
I
ask
mean, he
these
would
dumb
do
questions?
whatever,
Okay.
like man on the street stuff up
Yeah.
in New York. Guest, I told him we need help with
Did you tell him the pay
with the
scale?
young people.
Pay scale is.
I said we need to know about the metaverse. Can you be our metaverse?
Did you tell him the pay scale is like Indian sweatshop type of pay
Yeah, we
scale?
didn't talk
Okay,
pay.
That's good. That's good. I was telling my wife, I'm like, in this next fucking contract, like we're talking to Spotify or something. I go, in this next, whatever contract if we ever get into one of those contracts,
Yeah.
I'm going to put in the contract a limit on how many episodes we put out per year. Because it's just ridiculous how many episodes we put out.
We're churning and burning.
But we never stop making these episodes. I'm never out of the studio editing. But here's the crazy thing. So we asked the question just like maybe 5 weeks ago, how could it possibly be that anybody could have kept up with all of these episodes?
Yeah.
And so far, we've gotten like 7 responses. I'm up to date. Like,
I know.
I listened. I'm on top of it. Which just surprises me how you could listen to our incessant voices for 3 hours of fucking
I'm
week.
amazed every week.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's listening to Bryan? I laugh at each other.
My wife makes up doctor's appointments to get away from me. She's like, we got to take the kids to the doctor, honey. I'll be back.
Just like you go to the grocery store.
I go to the grocery store, she goes to the doctor. But she takes the kids. Like, when you're volunteering to spend more time with the children alone, you know that I must be extremely boring. But, welcome to the commercial break. It's not for everyone.
Well, we did get a very sweet message from our dear friend, Roxanne Reagan.
Okay, I hate reading reviews, but we'll read. Do you have the one?
Yeah,
do you have
I
it? Why don't you
do.
pull it on up there? Roxanne's a longtime fan of ours, and
She really is.
I don't want to be that morning show. Like, I know some podcasts do this, but then you get into that morning show territory. Hey, it's me, Julie from Virginia. I love listening to the Burt Show in the morning.
Well, we are the Zoo Crew.
Beep, beep. Everybody's looking for the weekend. It's me, Rock and Ryder Green, and I'm here to tell you that I love your show. Which, by the way, is exactly what this show sounds like anyway, without any help. Loud, obnoxious. I hate it.
I know.
Okay, go ahead. Read
Okay,
her
hi,
review.
hi, Bryan and Krissy! Exclamation point. This is Roxanne Reagan. Still love the podcast
Love
and
you.
have listened to all episodes.
Unbelievable.
Always look forward to the new ones coming out.
Well, good for her.
Not sure how much merchandise y'all have for TCB yet. Well, we did have some. And
We tried to give merchandise
did,
away for
yeah,
free.
nobody
and
would take it.
People wouldn't even give us their address. Like, I'm not going to have those goofballs show up at my front door.
But as I was listening to that latest show on Frankie B today, I just had a random thought about you considering Frankie B inspired merch.
That would be an idea.
Something along the lines of, look at my body, and she's a party girl.
Look out for the party girls.
Love the show and mostly your secret sauce, which will always be your long-standing friendship. You each know where the bodies are buried.
Yes,
and
we do.
can't wait to hear about it.
You won't hear about all of it, but we give you.
We
enough.
reveal more and more each.
Yeah, well, I think that's like the nature of this show too. Is that as the further we go along, the more we have to talk, the more we have to reveal because we're running out of fucking things to talk about. I talk to you more than I talk to my wife. And by the way, we had this brilliant idea. So there's probably so many new listeners since this happened, but we had this brilliant idea. Bryan thought brilliant idea. No one else did. Which was, let's make some stickers, like collectible type stickers, like in the shape of a guitar pick, or one you would put on the back of your car, or like one in the silhouette of Frankie B, or whatever. Let's make these stickers. Let's put a number on the back of Frankie B.
I don't think that was a choice.
We actually thought about that. Astrid and I did.
That's really funny.
But then we would have these stickers, and all people had to do was one of 3 things. They had to write a review and send us a screenshot. They had to purchase something from one of our sponsors, send us a screenshot, or they just had to write in
and
a message, like just say hello and do nothing. Send us a screenshot, like do nothing. Like, you don't have to do anything. We made for series number 1, we made 500 of those fucking stickers, and I still have 498 of them sitting in my fucking thing.
I think they littered the Memphis stages last year.
We threw a bunch of them out there, and people they live.
I love my TCB T-shirt, by the way.
Oh, TCB T-shirt's awesome.
I've worn it too. There's a little hole in it now.
Oh, you have? Mm-hmm. Well, it talks about the quality of the TCB merchandise. We're doing a great job.
I think I
over
wore
here
it
at
so
TCB.
much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We only the finest
We're-
for you, Krissy.
We're not going with Gucci shirts. So.
No. Gucci shirts. I read about they broke up it was a boutique studio in New York, a boutique clothing studio in New York. And they busted it. And they busted the lady had $165 million worth of fake apparel from places like Gucci and Prada and all this stuff. And what she was selling was, and she was kind of smart about this, what she sold was not like the purses, right, where it can be sometimes obvious that there's a different knockoff, but she would sell like, it's very popular for some of these high-end brands. They're putting out street clothing now,
Yes,
like
they
a
are.
hoodie
Yep.
with a Prada logo on it, but like embroidered in there, or it's like silk screened onto it. It's not any different than the t-shirts that you and I wear to go to bed.
Yes.
The only difference is the name that's on it. And people are paying tens of thousands of dollars for these shirts.
Of course. Yeah, just sprinkle it in to
just-
the mix of the
that's
real
right.
stuff.
She didn't even bother. She just was silk screening the logos on there, and she was selling this as legit. And it was so hard to determine the difference because what is the difference? There is no difference.
Yeah, it's a t-shirt.
People are paying for a name. There's a whole movie about this, about how this luxury brand and how it's come to prominence since the 60s or 70s or whenever it was, and how some of these brands have really capitalized on that. And how they do it, and how they make a luxury brand seem luxurious. Even it's like the whole wine thing.
Yeah.
Is a $10 bottle of wine really different than a $100 bottle of wine? Is it any different than a $1,000 bottle of wine? So I talked to a sommelier recently about this because he's one of the few, sommelier like that.
Yeah, they know what they're talking about.
They don't talk about. There's like 600 of them at any given time on Earth.
Right.
Real sommeliers that have taken the test and done the thing.
What if it was a fake sommelier? You were
Could have been a
talking
fake
to?
sommelier. I have no idea. I didn't check his badge. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can say they're one, right?
Yeah, that's right. He could have been a testicle sommelier, and I would have known the difference. Could have been dipping his balls in the wine, and I don't know. So I say, hey, listen, be honest with me. What's the difference between a $100 bottle of wine and a $10,000 bottle of wine? And he said, at some point, there is no difference.
Yes.
He goes, there is a difference between a bad bottle of wine and a good bottle of wine.
Yes.
And usually the good bottle of wines get identified by people like me or other connoisseurs of wine. Like, this is a really good wine. We should, there should be...
We should recommend it.
Yeah, we should recommend it, and maybe they should put a limit on it. There's like a whole process, but it's so subjective, just like art and all this other stuff. It's so fucking subjective that you never really know what you're paying for. One time,
True.
Astrid and I went out to dinner one time with a friend who was celebrating our engagement. Guy came in, very, very well-to-do guy. He's done very well for himself. We'll give away his name.
I know who
You know who I'm talking
yes.
about, right? And we go to this restaurant here in this little town that we live, this little township near our house, city center. We go there. We go to the nicest restaurant in the city, which is a very nice restaurant, steakhouse. We go there. We're looking at the wine list. Hey, you gonna have a glass of wine? Sure, I'll have a glass of wine. You gonna have a glass of wine? Astor said, sure, I'll have a glass of wine. He looks at the wine list and he instantaneously picks the Screaming Eagle bottle of wine. The Screaming Eagle bottle of wine, $15,000, I think was the price tag on this
Jeez.
bad boy. $15,000 on this bottle of wine. You would have thought that King fucking Arthur himself had walked in the door and picked up that bottle of wine. As it was moving through the restaurant, people were like, it's a very crowded restaurant. People were making way. Waiters were like behind the waiter who was carrying the bottle of wine. There was like two people under it with a pillow.
Don't drop it, don't drop it.
Don't drop it. But people recognized what was going on. It became very exciting in the restaurant. We were all of a sudden the center
Plus,
of
the restaurant
attention.
just made a $15,000
Fucking
sale.
A right, dude. On a bunch of dumbasses that don't have no idea. I could have bought a Boone's Farm, and it probably would have tasted the same. So he brings over this incredibly elaborate decanter. It's got to go, around the hose, through the nose, up and down, sideways. It's like a roller coaster for wine, right?
Yes, it
So
aerates it.
Aerates it. Whatever. So Nico and Blue agree. So the guy opens the bottle of wine and he pours it into this decanter. As he's pouring it into the decanter, the guy that we're with is like, just pour the glasses. Go ahead and pour the glass. Like, we don't need to sit there, let this thing sit for hours. He's like not buying the bullshit either, even though he's the one paying the $15,000 for the wine. He doesn't want the presentation. He wants the wine. So the guy pours the glasses real quick and then he sits it down and the rest of the wine is working its way through the decanter. What I realized after about 2 minutes is that there is a small pool of wine that is collecting on my napkin that is sitting next to the decanter. Oh, no. The wine is leaking out of the decanter.
No.
Like $100 a drop, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, we should probably get the waiter there. And the guy that took us to dinner is like, yeah, just put a glass under it or something. And I couldn't get the glass under it. So I'm like waving to the waiter and I'm like, hey, this wine is pouring all over the place. This guy is freaking out. You would have thought, you would have thought a plane dropped out of the sky. I mean, immediately there's an emergency meeting, and then hundreds of people are around us, and they're all sopping this up, and they're squeezing out the napkin into the decanter, and the one guy's licking the table, and he's like, we'll put a 10% discount on it, sir. And everyone's like, whatever, who gives a shit. It's a fucking bottle of wine. I got to be honest about that $15,000 bottle of wine. While it was very interesting to have the whole commotion around it, I am not sure for 1 second, that it tasted any different than anything I have ever tasted before as far as good wines are concerned.
Right, good wines.
There wasn't a difference. It didn't taste any different to me. I didn't go, oh my God, this is the best bottle of wine I've ever had, even though it's clearly the most expensive.
Yes.
Because there was no difference. And so, going back to it, it's all very subjective.
Yeah, and everybody's palate is different, and that's the way it works in the
like
luxury item world.
Yeah, my palate likes cream and cereal, so I don't know that I'm the best.
Heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
That's
Not even
the
light
good
cream.
stuff.
Heavy cream. Oh, that's the good stuff. All right, I'm going to tell you a story, Krissy.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you a story, and I want you to tell me whether or not what you think of this story. Are you ready?
I think so.
In a matter of 2 weeks, 44-year-old Andrew Carlson turned an $800 profit into $350 million with 126 consecutive trades in the U.S. stock market. Despite the high risk of each trade, Carlson's investments produced a winner every single time. He quickly caught the attention of the federal investigators at the SEC, who were sure that his successes could only point to one thing: insider trading. Mm-hmm. During questioning, investigators got an explanation they had never expected. During a 4-hour confession that was videotaped, Carlson stated that he had traveled back in time from 250 years in the future, bringing knowledge of which stocks were going to set through the roof.
That's like the Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah.
They do. Who did?
The one where they predicted Trump was going to be the president, which actually happened. In his videotaped confession, Carlson said, "It was just too tempting to resist. I planned to make it look natural by losing a little here and losing a little there, but I got caught up in the moment and decided to execute all the trades, as I knew they were going to happen."
Wow.
Authorities were convinced he was lying, branding him a lunatic and or a pathological liar. However, they couldn't account for where Carlson got his information from. An SEC source said if the company's stock rose due to a merger or technological breakthrough, that was supposed to be a secret. However, Mr. Carlson knew nothing about this in advance that we could tell. The SEC also admitted they couldn't find any record of Andrew Carlson's existence before December 2002.
What? This is amazing. I love this news.
Vying for
time travel is possible.
Okay, hold on.
Got to get in those wormholes. You snake in.
And how do you do that? Ayahuasca, I think. The noodle dance at a Panic concert.
Yes. If you twirl hard
right.
enough.
Dave Matthews at the end of Bartender. Bartender, please. Where am I, man? It's 1996. You're at a DMB concert. Look out for the fire dancers.
Yeah, if you twirl hard enough.
If you twirl hard enough, you'll end up at 250 years in the future. Vying for leniency, Carlson said he'd be willing to divulge the cure for AIDS and the location of Osama bin Laden. Now, this is back a number of years ago, before bin Laden was caught. He also said that he was to return to his time craft and go back to his own time, though he refused to reveal the location of that craft for fear that it would fall into the wrong hands.
He was Doctor Who.
This was Doctor Who, exactly.
This was actual Doctor Who.
So listen to this.
He's vanished now. He's gone back.
The judge gave him a $1 million bail. He sat in jail for a number of weeks, and then one day, through a lawyer, someone put up the bail, the $1 million bail, in cash. Law enforcement was unable to trace where this cash came from. However, they had no choice but to let Carlson out of jail. He was never found again.
Whoa.
Never.
I love this story. I love it. I love it so much because, I mean, I grew up watching Doctor Who, so I just want it to be true. I just really want it to be true.
So you really want it to be true? Mm-hmm. It's not. It's a fake story that was put out. But but I have found a number of, I'm bringing this story up because I want to talk about time travel.
Okay.
Right? And this is kind of the most interesting, I think, urban legend. I mean, there's another one about a guy who died in 1956. He was hit by a car in the middle of Times Square. And when he got hit by that car, he was supposedly looking confused and in dress from 100 years earlier. They found crisp, clean bills from the time period, as well as an identification card that identified him as a man who had lived 100 years earlier, but disappeared. Before he stepped out into traffic, he had no idea what was going on. He was like, what are all these cars? Where am I?
He had just like dropped in.
He had dropped in.
From the wormhole.
From the Dave Matthews concert.
Yes.
In 1883. And when he got hit by the car, right before he got hit by the car, he was asking, where is, whatever it is, 33 Park Avenue? That's where I live. Well, when authorities looked at 33 Park Avenue, whatever the address is, I don't remember the exact address, it had been like a sewing house for 75 years. No house had existed there in any postal record ever, but there were pictures from a period of time when there were houses on that block, like actual homes on that block. But it had been a building for 75 years, and no one could remember this guy, his name, family's name, whatever. They eventually found a family member of a family member.
You said,
Like,
oh, yeah, that's Uncle.
Yeah, that's old,
crazy Uncle
that's
Bryan.
Old Uncle Dick. That's old Uncle Brian. We lost him in the great...
Yeah, he's done this before.
We lost him in the great bar crawl of 2021. He hasn't been found since. He was dressed like a pilgrim. He was dressed like a hobo. It was Halloween and his mom dressed him up like a hobo.
Yes.
So this is another urban legend that has a lot of people out there talking about time travel. Unfortunately, both of these can be easily debunked. They were stories that were written in magazines as fictional stories, and they kind of took on a life of their own. As a matter of fact, the first story that I told was picked up by Yahoo News and other reputable news sources. So now there's lots of people out there who, despite showing them where the evidence lies that this came from an actual story in a book that was supposed to be fictional, they still believe it. They still think that it's a government
all the
conspiracy.
News stuff.
Yeah,
now.
that's the
It
problem.
picks up, anything that's a headline grabber.
People are out of their. They don't.
I want it to be true.
I want it to be true too. I really want it to be true.
Yes.
And I originally heard this story on a fascinating YouTube channel called WFY Files. And I love the guy. And what he does is he'll tell a story for like 20 minutes, and then it's either true or it's not true. And he'll give you the evidence, the facts, right? Only the facts, man. But he'll weave a story, and you're like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then he lets you down, right? He's like, but it's not true. And you're like, fuck, man. So I heard this, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago on this show, and it made me interested in, like, are there people out there that actually think that they have time traveled and are talking about it online? And of course there are.
Of course.
And of course they are. So I was trolling on the internet. I was
you do.
time traveling on the internet, as I do. Hey cats and kittens, welcome to the commercial break. Inside the commercial break, hit us up with your comments, questions, concerns, or content ideas at one of two places. Either 661-237-8296. You can text us or leave us a voicemail there. Or you can send us an email through the website. Just go to tcbpodcast.com and hit the contact us button. While you're there, you can listen to all the audio or watch all the video right from one location, tcbpodcast.com. Do us a favor, take a listen to our sponsors, and if you're ever in the market for their products or services, you could use the URLs or the specialized codes we drop inside of those ads. But you don't have to spend money to love on us. You can always leave us a review, a rating, or a comment on your favorite podcast player. Take 2 minutes. If you send us a screenshot, I'll send you some swag. At The Commercial Break on Instagram or TikTok, and youtube.com/The Commercial Break. So after you listen to it here, go watch it on YouTube and get an extra laugh you can put in your stash. We're going to hear about those sponsors now, and then we'll be back to this episode of The Commercial Break.
the mistletoe margarita, the Screwdriver, the North Pole punch. The holidays call for cocktails, so get everything you'll need for them delivered with Drizzly, the go-to app for drink delivery. So what's it gonna be? Classics like Bullet Bourbon, Don Julio Reposado, or Kettle One, or maybe something new. Find it all on Drizzly, where you can get beer, wine, and spirits delivered for any holiday festivity. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com today. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations.
I found a man who claims that he is a time traveler from the future. Now, I want to give credit where this video is from. Apex TV. Go give them a follow. They've got some interesting stuff on there. But I don't know all of their stuff, so I don't know where I'm sending you. I just like a couple videos that I've watched. This is Carlos, and Carlos claims that he's from the future.
I can't see his head.
You can't see his head because it's blurred. Oh. They're protecting his identity.
After hearing my story today,
I don't know if maybe his head was still in another realm.
His head is in 2,622. But his dick came back.
Right. It's like the metaverse torso.
That pussy's really good in 2022 before all the radiation. Oh, yeah, it's like the torso. That's right. But I love this guy. I just think this is too funny.
Hello. After hearing my story today, you may think I'm crazy, but everything I say is true.
He talks like Sacha Baron Cohen in one of those movies, so yeah. I'm already kind of disbelieving what he has to say.
His voice is a little different.
My name is Carlos. I was born and raised in Alicante, Spain, and I spent my childhood on the beach fishing with my family. Before getting in...
One day, I hear music coming from the beach, but I cannot pinpoint where. All of a sudden, a man with a saxophone is playing with a crazy white man, dancing his legs below the guitar. It is a Dave Matthews. I am traveling through time with the Dave Matthews Band. A bartender, please!
To the story, let me first say that the world will change drastically very soon. Very soon.
That's really not a stretch to say that.
We're not saying, it's not giving... Anybody could go at any time
and
say that the world is going to change drastically very soon.
And it just will.
It will be true, of course.
Yes. Sooner than you think.
Well, I think pretty soon the world's going to change.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to walk out this house. It's going to be different than it was an hour ago.
In 2028, the world you know will disappear. You might ask me how I know that and how
I have been smoking a lot of weed in Denver with Krissy only. I got a text message from Krissy only in Denver. She told me
the world will be totally different.
The world will be totally different with 5 Fs.
Can speak so confidently. I will tell you the secret. I was born in 2012. You may think I'm joking. It's 2022 now, and I'm obviously not 10 years old.
But wait, even in 2028, you're still going to only be 16. I don't get this, right?
No, I don't understand.
I will now reveal my main secret.
Well, I'm on the edge of my seat.
I have a pocket of pussy, and I have been stretching my cock 10 inches. If you want that, click below. For the Y Bryan 3000, the special sauce that you put on your cock before sex to make you long, strong, and hard for all the ladies. Side effects may include hair loss, blindness, teeth falling out,
leprosy,
necrosis.
You may have spider webs coming out of your wrists.
From current times. I am from the year 2040. I know it sounds like some sort of science fiction story.
Nope, sounds completely legit, bro.
Yeah, no, sounds like something we hear every day.
Sounds legit, bro.
But it's absolutely true. A few centuries ago, a submarine or an airplane was just as fantastic. Would anyone believe that there could be an electric clock that could contain both a telephone and a player and a health tracker back in the 2000s?
Yeah, I mean, they were thinking this up.
Yeah, I'm
Remember,
pretty sure.
Like the Jetsons, and what was the other
Star
one?
Trek.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
And what was the other one with the guy with the watch?
Flintstones?
Well, they went back in time.
Oh, he had a little bird that was, it was chipping away at the time every time.
Well, no, I mean,
Yeah,
and there was
no.
Kit,
All of it.
Dark, Knight Rider.
Knight Rider. All like this is not science fiction since the 40s.
What was it, like Man 3000 or something like that?
Yeah, why Bryan 3000?
Now I get that on my brain.
So I know I agree with you. And DuPont, one of the stories I looked up about time traveling is a picture, a short movie of a lady walking out of the DuPont offices wherever in DuPont in Tennessee or whatever, and she is holding what looks like a iPhone, and she's talking into it. And as she sees the camera, she puts it away. Right? It's a very fascinating video. But
She was from the future?
well, she doesn't claim to be from the future. She had something in her hand that looked like. Why would someone from the 30s or the 40s be holding something that looks like an iPhone?
Well, she was trying to dodge the paparazzi.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I'm on the phone.
I thought she had one of those like ear things, you put in there, like
A horn?
What's it called? Calliope? Oh, yeah, a hearing horn. Huh? The future? What's that? An iPhone, you say? That's a bear leg that I sliced off last night and put it in my lunchbox for a snack. But the truth is, the lady's family said that she was working in a DuPont office where they were working on wireless devices at the time, back in the 30s and 40s. So
This has been in
Yeah.
motion
Yeah,
for a little
of
while.
course.
The idea
Only
was
if
always
you-
there.
yeah.
2 years
And so while
later,
maybe you and I couldn't have thought about it, like we weren't on top of every single technological advancement that was going
Yeah,
on.
no, we were like, no,
That was too
give us
high.
our next thing.
No, you got any blow, bro? You said what?
What's
a
new?
picture taking camera clock? Well, I don't need all that shit. But your sister's hot. No, I'm not interested in any of that. I'll take my good old fashioned telephone connected to my wire. That's what I need.
Peter, it is just a simple smartwatch produced by almost all brands. What I'm saying is that the world can change drastically in just one day.
Okay, so far you're not predicting anything.
No.
You're not telling us anything about the future.
No.
You're just telling us what we already know.
Simply because of a new invention, such as the telephone, electricity, uranium usage, and so on.
By the way, electricity is not an invention. It's been around since the beginning of time.
Let me get back to the story.
Please,
Oh,
do.
please.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Carlos.
circle back.
We appreciate it. Yeah, come on, come up to speed.
I lived in Spain all my life. As I said, I was fishing. And later we had a small family factory in Valencia. I'm saying all this so that we understand that I'm an ordinary person like you.
Oh yeah, my family owns a
Valencia.
factory in Valencia, Spain. Also, I'm just like you.
He's an ordinary fisherman.
I wonder if traveling backwards through time made him talk so slow.
From a simple family. As I was saying, the world will soon change drastically, and it will start in 2028, when the cryptocurrency immediately became dominant over the dollar and the rest of the currencies we all know.
I like that he's giving us a tip.
Yeah, he's giving us a tip. I'm going to get onto that cryptocurrency. It's a great time to get into cryptocurrency. I got a hot tip for you, Krissy. Cryptocurrency. All the bros are doing it.
But do not rush to invest all your money into cryptocurrency.
Krissy, I take back that advice I had about cryptocurrency. Hold on that. I'll let
Hold,
you know.
please.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Carlos to give me the green light.
Because the future crypto is not yet available on any online platform.
It is only available at carloscrypto.com. Here I give my daily crypto tips from the future.
A daily crypto tip.
From 2040. Here's my crypto tip for today. Buy Carlos coin. In 2040, it will be worth 1 billion zombies. Which will be the dominant currency of the time.
But wait, don't rush to invest all your money yet.
Yeah, hold on, don't invest all your money, just most of it. 75% to Carlos coin. 25% to food and beverages and such. 75% to Carlos coin, 10% to Screaming Eagle, and then 15% to other necessities. I don't want you to get crazy.
Everything is more complicated than you think. In 2026, the United States will introduce a new payment system called coin salary. What is this coin salary?
What is this coin salary? What are you
this?
making me a pizza? What is this coin salary? This is not how you make a coin salary. More salt and pepper. What an original name, Carlos. Coin salary.
Yeah.
Let me explain in a few words.
I'm going to need more than a few.
Yeah, I never believed that Carlos has ever explained anything in a few words. I'm just going to share that information with you.
Imagine for a second,
I shouldn't talk shit about Carlos because he could be in the future killing me.
He
I could
could, just like that
disappear one
spider.
day. Yeah, that's right.
are a salesperson working in a shop and your monthly salary is $6,000.
Holy shit! You're getting paid $6,000 to work in a shop?
Shoe factory?
Yeah, in a shoe sales as a shoe sales guy.
I mean, those people do make money.
We're in the wrong business. This is
Well,
like,
at those fake Gucci stores.
it's like
That's where you can really clean up.
$5,900 more than we make on this show.
Instead, you will receive crypto
So you're not.
coins.
So what the factory person is saying is, I'm not going to pay you in dollars.
I'm going to pay you a crypto salary, crypto salad, or whatever.
You're
he
going to
said.
make $6,000 a month.
You're going to make
in crypto.
In crypto salad.
Which is a big investment in Carlos crypto.
Carlos crypto and crypto salad. Take it home and put it in the refrigerator because when it dies, you can't use it anymore. Don't eat it. It's very expensive.
X quantity crypto coins, which you can spend on whatever you want. You receive a specific amount of crypto coins for specific purposes.
Isn't that the way that money exchanges work?
No. Well, what do you? I think I understand what he's
For
saying.
goods and services, you receive a certain thing.
No, what he's saying is you receive different money for different things. So you get like
Crypto
listen,
salad is one thing.
Yeah, crypto salad is one thing. You could get
for shoes.
You could get crypto car for your car.
Okay.
Crypto house for your house. Right. So your boss will pay you in multiple different ways. I don't think that the U.S. government could ever do anything like this. No. I don't think I could ever do anything like this.
Example, you will get Etcoin to buy food.
Etcoin? Who's making up the names in the future? Who's doing the naming conventions in the future? Because I want to talk to them.
Eat coin for food.
Eat coins for food. Dick coin for pussy. Porn coin for paying your children's school. It's a little complicated, but you can use it for either.
Car coin to buy a car. Travel coin to travel, etc. What is the point of that?
Exactly. What is the point of that?
Well, he's about to explain.
Okay.
Let me explain. If you are a salesperson, for example, you can never buy an expensive sports car or spend your entire yearly income in Monaco's casinos. You have a certain amount of crypto coins for specific things. You can't buy clothes with Etcoin. You need cloth coin to buy clothes.
You need clothes coin to buy clothes?
Cloth coin.
Cloth coin. Cloth coin.
Cloth coin.
Carlos, you're making less and less sense as this video goes on.
Yeah.
Why would I care whether or not the sales guy buys a big car? Why does it matter? There are plenty of people who have sports cars they could never afford.
Yeah.
They're like car poor, you know what I'm saying? Or house poor or whatever it is. Maybe that's the point. Like they can control your money. But I'm not really buying that in 4 years from now, this is all going down.
I mean, we just had an insurrection. You think anybody's
Nobody's
going to allow
gonna
this
think
to
about it.
happen?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. We don't have our shit together over here in the U.S. You're giving us way too much credit, Carlos.
Coin to buy a laptop or a smartphone, etc. You may think it is a new way of control and everything is very bad and apocalyptic. But in reality...
In reality, it's not that bad. I like having my eat coin for eating and my dick coin for vagina.
What if you're at a restaurant and you buy some merch, like you're at the Hard Rock Cafe?
You are in tough spot. And then
and you get some clothes. You have different coin.
That's right. Then you have a restaurant merch coin, which is very rare. It's hard to come by. But you want some merch at the restaurant, you buy restaurant merch coin. If you had Dave Matthews concert, you have Dave Matthews coin.
Concert coin.
Concert coin. That's right, Krissy. More specific. Every band has their own coin.
You will be very well paid for the work you do, and it would be impossible not to lead a normal life.
Well, maybe we'll have Podcoin.
Yeah.
We'll be very well paid for the work we do.
We'll have TCB crypto. Yeah.
Podcoin.
I don't believe this. And there's one reason why I don't believe this. I don't see how we're getting to $6,000 a month in 4 years, Carlos. I ran the math. It's not possible.
The crypto coins you receive. You can't just say that the government organizes your budget.
Yeah, that's
going to
go over real well with everyone.
With anybody, Democrat or Republican. Yeah, I was about to say with this group, but the truth is that no one's going to stand for this shit. No. I mean, I can see a few weird people being like, "Oh, it's perfect," but no one wants this.
So that a person with a small salary doesn't spend all the money on an expensive car and not be able to pay the rent later.
So you're telling me that basically a classist system is coming in and it's going to divide us even further by class because now I cannot put on the shoes that the guy above me can buy, even if I want those shoes and I save up my own money for them. Mm-hmm. This sounds very communist, and it's even a little much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest with you.
Don't we kind of already have a little bit of that tiny bit with the EBT cards, that like it specifically can be used for food?
Yeah, but that's giving people help that they need because they can't afford the food.
It sounds like he's saying.
Yeah.
Like you can't, if you're poor, you can't spend it on
Actually,
a car.
This doesn't sound like a bad idea. I think my wife has me on a similar program.
Yes. It's called Astrid Coin.
It's called Astrid Coin, and it's working real well. We'll hear more from Carlos next week. I can't get into the whole video today. It's a little long, and he speaks a little slow, to be honest with you.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. You may think I'm not like you, but my family own all of Alicante, Spain. I am ordinary man just like you. In future, my family own all Eatcoin. You want to eat, you come to us. Listen, I'm getting into crypto just in case. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Carlos has me convinced.
Dibble dabble.
Yeah. I'm gonna... I wonder if Carlos knows this Carlson guy. I wonder if the two of them get together. I want to tell you another story about the Count of Monte Cristo, I think it is.
Okay.
Or the Count of something or other. I'll tell you another story.
That's
when
a book.
we get... Yeah, no, there's a... I'll tell you
read me the book?
Yeah, I'll read you the book right here on the commercial break.
We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
We probably have higher ratings.
Ideas. Next up, Bryan will read the Count of Monte Cristo.
Next time on the commercial break. Well, maybe that's how we get through another 500 episodes of this. We'll get 200 of those episodes can be the Count of Monte Cristo. Jesus Jones. Okay, Krissy and I really appreciate you tuning into the commercial break. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you're keeping up with every episode, what the fuck are you thinking?
We appreciate it too.
We know in the future the commercial break is no longer around. 2028 is our cutoff date. Well, actually, we might be going to 2028 to pay off this Roadcaster we bought in the first day of our broadcasting.
Yes.
So anyway, we love you. Thanks for tuning in. TCBpodcast.com That's where you go to find out more information about Krissy and I. You can take a look at the episodes, all the audio, all the video. You can contact us if you want to give us comments, questions, concerns, content ideas, most importantly. We're looking for stories about infidelity, and we've actually gotten a few already. Send your stories in about infidelity, and we're going to spend a week doing nothing but stories about infidelity.
Scandalous.
Oh, yeah, there's one really good story. One really good story. Well written
Excited.
by a really good writer, and she just nailed it. I loved it. I was laughing out loud. So we'll get to that in the next couple of weeks at The Commercial Break on Instagram, but youtube.com/The Commercial Break is most important, or now YouTube has handles. So go to @TCB Podcast if you want to find all of our stuff. Just type it in the search engine. Okay, Krissy. I think that's all I can do today.
I think so, Brian.
Best to you.
Best to you.
I love you.
And I love you.
And best to you out there in the podcast universe. Until next time, Krissy and I always say, we do say, and we must say, bye.
Whatever kind of night you're having, start it off right with Drizzly, the go-to app for drink delivery. Whether you're mixing up a bullet bourbon old-fashioned for a cozy night in, or Kettle One Bloody Mary bar for a birthday brunch, you can get the perfect beer, wine, and spirits for any occasion delivered with Drizzly. So,
What's it gonna be?
download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com to choose your drinks today. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations.
Looking for a new career? Welcome to Do HVAC Training Service Center in North Charleston. Enroll today in our comprehensive HVAC training hands-on field experience-based program, covering troubleshooting, maintenance, installation, and more on various HVAC systems and ductwork. We offer EPA and NATE preparation and testing, along with various certifications. Enjoy payment options. Achieve certification in under 5 months. Enroll now for your new journey of skill development and career advancement. Log on to DEWHVACTrainingSC.com to inquire.
Recently, our client John met his banker to discuss plans for a clean energy building. What he found was a shared passion for building something more. Momentum for change. First Horizon Bank. Let's find a way. Go to firsthorizon.com/John.
Are you struggling to lose weight and keep it off? Tired of wasting time and money on starvation diets that lead to more frustration and stress? If there was a weight loss solution that could actually work for you, would you try it? Then head to Golo.com.
I'm Steve. I lost 138 pounds in 9 months on Golo.
I'm Amber. I've lost 128 pounds with Golo Taking Release.
If you're ready to take back control of your life, head to Golo.com now and see how Golo can work for you. That's GOLO.com.
My sleep is way better. My inflammation has gone way down. Golo saved my life. I was way overweight. That's what sent me down the path. I wanted to make sure and live for my kid.
I have literally tried everything. I was on the verge of getting gastric bypass surgery, and I saw the Golo commercial, and it was the last thing I tried because it worked.
Join over 2 million people who have found a better way to lose weight with Golo. Your healthier and happier life begins at Golo.com. That's GOLO.com. Again, GOLO.com.